I'm going to give a non-league club the largest possible stadium that they can have in Football Manager 2022, then simulate 10 years in the future and find out what happens. The club I've chosen for this experiment is Leamington because they have the smallest stadium in the National League North and South with only about 200 seats. The maximum stadium capacity you can have in Football Manager is 150,000 seats, and that's what we've given Leamington, as you can see here. But I've also ensured that the minimum club attendance is also 150,000, so they are going to be selling out every single game. So on paper, what should happen is that Leamington are going to get a ton of money coming into the club through ticket sales every single week. However, will this money actually result in a rise up the league tables? Because we're not going to adjust their reputation at all. We're going to keep their reputation at 2,300 out of 10,000. So yes, they could have all the money in the world, but are they actually going to use it to buy players in? Or will players not want to join Leamington because despite the big attendances, the reputation of the club is rubbish? What I do quite enjoy though is despite the 150,000 seats in the stadium, they only have 178 season ticket holders. But so first of all, I want to go 1 year into the future because see what the short term to see if this is having any effect on the club, but two, it's also going to show us that if it's got no effect on the club, I'm not just wasting my time simulating 100 years in the future for nothing to happen. And so the short term effect is not an awful lot. Leamington have finished 19th in the Vanarama National League North when they were expected to come 20th. So okay, short term, not much. The real reason I've done this, to be fair, is so I can go onto the team detailed stats, scroll down to the average attendance, and see that Leamington Spa have got an average attendance of 142,000, and then York next with just 2,700. This is what's quite amusing to me. Interestingly, no sellouts though. Absolutely no sellouts. So despite just setting the minimum attendance to 150,000, it's not actually resulted in that. And so interestingly, if we edit the club details, it's not actually changed. I thought this could actually go down. I thought the reputation might have affected this and actually attendances would have dropped throughout the season because of a low reputation. But the reputation has increased by 2, but attendances are staying at a minimum of 150,000, although we've seen that that's not actually the case. I am very interested to see the finances of the club though, so I'm going to make myself the manager very quickly. And looking at the finances, the club have 40 million as their overall budget and a transfer budget of 20 million. Which they're not ever going to be able to spend because the reputation is too low to bring in good players. Like, the reputation is what's holding the club back right now. So last season, they made 44 million from gate receipts. That's mental. Plus an extra 17 million pounds basically for match day income. And then corporate facilities also brought in another 7 million as well. And then merchandise on top of that is actually 1.2 million, which is huge. I guess when you've got that number of people going to a game each and every week, then they're going to pick up some shirts, aren't they, and spend some money on merchandise. So they've actually made a ton of profit. Last season, 69 million. What a great number. And now we're going to go 10 years into the future. And for me, Leamington will either still be in the Vanarama National League North, or they would have got themselves to the Premier League. It's one of the two, and I can't decide which one it's going to be. And I can guarantee you now it'll be somewhere in the middle, won't it? Now, interestingly, Leamington have still got the exact same manager, so I guess he has done a pretty decent job to still be in charge, but he's been there since 2009, so this is one of the longest serving managers arguably ever. It's pretty impressive. We're in 2031 right now, so 22 years in charge of Leamington. Surely at this stage, he's probably done a pretty good job. I should also point out as well, the Leamington manager, like, he's not got much hair, has he? I wonder how he's done that. I'm going to give him a call and I'm going to see what he says. Hello, Paul Holloran. How do you get your head looking so hair-free? Ah, well that brings us nicely into what's coming up next. Support for today's video is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and the Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men who trust Manscaped worldwide with this exclusive offer for you with 20% off and free shipping with code TomFM at manscaped.com. So Manscaped were also kind enough to send me the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is a fantastic nose and ear hair trimmer. As well as being waterproof, it also provides proprietary skin-safe technology which helps reduce nicks, snags and tugs in those delicate nose holes. Genuinely, I actually end up using this most days, to be fair, for whatever reason. I have a lot of nose hair, so this is really, really handy. So much so, I've got my dad one. It's actually that good. Get 20% off and free shipping with code TomFM at manscaped.com. Doing so really helps your balls out, but it also really helps me and the channel out as well. So unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Leamington, if we actually click on them, are in League 2. Right. And they finished 16th in League 2. If we can actually get it up, there we go, 16th. I'll be honest, I feel a bit let down by them. So starting here in 21-22, we've got 10 years of history, and actually most of it was spent in the Vanarama National North. And the first 3 seasons, 19th, 20th and 18th, only just avoiding relegation out of the National League North. It's only until season 4, that's when they start to do well with 12th, 9th a season afterwards, and it's season 6, that's the first time they've actually got themselves in a decent position. 4th in the playoffs, obviously didn't win it, but the season afterwards, they did manage to win the Vanarama National League North title. The season afterwards, the National League finished 10th in their first season, pretty decent, and then won the title with 102 points the season after that, and the League 2 season we've just seen has been their first season in League 2. I'm very surprised by this. It's been a real slow growth, a lot slower than I thought. And it's making me think we need to do a part 2 of this. And again, Leamington's average attendance, 143,000, with Bradford in second with 17,000, which is actually mental for League 2. There's actually a little finance tab down here that we can see. They've got a balance of £101 million, which is absolutely mental, and a transfer budget of 48 million, with 48 million still remaining. I love that. Interestingly though, they've not used any of this money to really invest in facilities. I believe it actually was more like 5 and 5 beforehand. But it's not like they've really gone out massively to improve it, which is surprising, but maybe it's not been long enough for them to improve it. Also, junior coaching and youth recruitment is still pretty terrible as well. Reputation has increased though, it's now 3,200 basically, so we've seen an increase of 1,000 in reputation, but it's not really what I would have expected it to be. I would have expected things to have risen a lot quicker than this. Now, interestingly, the game has put the club attendance to 151,000 when the maximum can only be 150,000, as you can see here, which is a bit bizarre. So something slightly broken there. Same with maximum club attendance. It's now 180,000 despite the max being 150,000. So a little bit unsure on that one, but everything else is still 150,000 as you can see. And they've not won any cups either. I thought they might have won maybe the FA Trophy or something like that, but no, just the National League and the National League North. And I suppose they can't splash the cash either. Like, I will look through some of their transfers, £105,000 spent then. Their biggest transfer ever though was a £950,000 season where they spent nearly £1 million on players, but I mean, they're all regens at this point, so we don't actually recognise any of the names. But they are on phenomenal wages though. I mean, we're talking £19,000 here, 16,000, 15,000, 15,000, 13,000, 11,000, 11,000, and then it drops to 5. But even the 5, 4, 3s, like maybe the 3s are kind of the upper limits to what you might expect in League 2. But anything above that is kind of like, even 3.5 is probably phenomenal for League 2, but these are mental. So clearly they are putting massive money into their wage budget, but it's just not working to get them promoted. And yeah, it's the biggest salary by 5 million from Bolton, then Southend, then Chesterfield quite low below that as well. It's 6 million up from Chesterfield. Okay, they're spending so much on wages. In fact, if we look at League 1, Ipswich have got a slightly bigger bill than them there, but maybe that's to be expected because it's Ipswich. In the Championship, they've not quite as big as Burton Albion down here at the bottom on 9.4 million, but they've got essentially a Championship budget. Okay, I really think we need to do a part 2 of this. I'd do it all in this episode, but I've not really got a whole lot of time because I'm trying to record everything before I go on holiday. So as you watch this, I'll be on holiday right now. So I'll get this simulated out for next week or the week after, and we'll go further into the future with this because this is actually really interesting. And because there is a part 2, let me know down in the comment section what you think is going to happen in the future. If we go another 10, 20, 30 years in the future, where will Leamington end up? Is it inevitable they're going to be a Premier League team purely because of the stadium and the money they can garner? Or will they reach a plateau and sort of stop somewhere because they can't get better reputation? Or will they just drop off completely? Let me know what you think. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have done, drop a like on the video for me, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.